Thank you everyone for joining us on this Future of Content Strategy webinar. We have a fantastic group of speakers for you today. So our experts today, we have from CyberDuck, Todd. We have from Test Partners, Paul, who's the head of accessibility and digital inclusion there. We have our digital and content strategist from Scroll Camilla West. And from Zest Digital, we have Laura, who's the head of client services there. So just in terms of what is the future of content strategy, well, really, as we see it, the best content strategies aren't static. It's all about adapting to changes in technology, legislation, and society. It's about adopting new practices, tools and frameworks, and it's about planning, establishing a forward-looking approach. So as I said, we have 5 fantastic presentations for you today. We'll be starting off with Todd around performing a content, audience, and UX audit.
So your users want to quickly find the content they're looking for. They want to read it, complete the task, and they just want to go away. It's as simple as that. Really, what you need to do is you need to make your content delightful. So as you see on the next slide, it's all about your content. It's all about carrying out a content audit.
So I'm sure everyone in this call has heard that content is king, and there is no disputing that. But the only caveat to that is you have to have ticked a lot of other boxes. So there are 3 core pillars to SEO, and I like to use the analogy of building a house to describe them. So first we have to lay our foundations, and that is the technical part of SEO. And that is looking at things like the structure and the hierarchy of your website. So once you've got your foundations nice and stable, you then need to look at building your walls. And that is the on-page part of SEO. And that's all around content. Now, that isn't necessarily just content that you can see with your eyes. It's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So things like schema markup or meta descriptions or image alt tags, which Paul will actually touch on later as well in our accessibility section. Then once we've built our walls, we need to put the roof on the house, and that is your off-page optimization. And this is the authority that is seen for your website elsewhere. So that's things like links to your website or maybe social mentions.
So accessibility is all about making sure that your digital content can be read and understand, and all the links and buttons and functionality is operable for people who have digital accessibility needs, whether that's mental or physical. It's worth also thinking about how accessibility features in the life cycle of a product. It's a bit of a buzzword, but shifting left has become a hot topic in all kinds of testing, but it's very important for accessibility testing as well. Todd's going to speak about wireframing a little bit later on, but if you're thinking about accessibility at the wireframing or creative design stage, you're already working out how to build that functionality with accessibility in mind.
So first start by creating the new content you need. And then my advice again is to create a spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, have a page for each section of the new sitemap. After you've decided on your content, you need to start thinking about wireframing. A couple of things to think about, to remember about wireframing. So first thing, you need to write your content. You need to create it, then start wireframing. We can no longer wireframe without any real content. You have to remember the basics here as well. So things like page hierarchy, page title, headings, subheadings, thinking about reading behavior, readability, and also thinking about what else does a page need.
And when I'm talking about a content strategy, for me, it's the overarching principles of how content is created, published, and retired, and more importantly, how it ties into your organization or business's aims. And I'm not going to preach about high quality writing and content design, although I will touch on a little bit of that with tone and brand. Firstly, we need to think about the content you are creating. Now, depending on how big or complex your organization is, the person responsible for website content might be part of marketing, comms, standalone digital team. If you're in government, they might be part of DDAT, digital data and technology. And so they put the content up while it still goes through marketing or comms and potentially policy. And lastly, I'd love a world where you could test content twice before publishing. It's not going to happen. We're not there yet. But see if you can test it. If in doubt, test it out.
Just to, I guess, reiterate, if anyone wants to just outreach us at any point, please do hit us up at email. We are hello@cyber-dark.co.uk. You can reach us also on Twitter. We are at cyberdark_UK. And lastly, you can get us on LinkedIn, company/cyber-duck. As I said, you can also use the hashtag contentduck tweet anytime you want, and we'll be able to get back to you there as well. Otherwise, thank you again to Camilla, Todd, Laura, and Paul for joining us today. And thank you all for watching our webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thank you and bye.